Okay, so I got it back in. The plastic piece, the black one, I swapped out from the 6R onto here. Pretty much went the same way as that. I mean, I guess I didn't replace the gray one onto that one, but you can imagine the reverse order. Just snapping it back in, just carefully fitting it in so that the plates in the middle, which are loose unless you have the screws locked in, they can pop out in there. So I have to be careful when I was doing that, just to gently just work it down, and it'll eventually snap on. And then I just put the date disc back, and then the plate that was on here, I don't know what the name of that is, but the one that you saw me remove, then slowly replace back the 4 screws, and then put the crown in, and then tested it to see if the date changed over. Oh, the mechanism works. And I don't tighten those 4 screws yet. I think it needs a little bit of play, a little bit of lift, so that as you're doing it, it'll work itself. If it's not aligned, it'll kind of force itself to get into alignment, and you need that little bit of play to get there, so it can slip through. And then when it seems like it's flipping over at the right spot, correctly aligned with the crown, in this case, then I just locked down the 4 screws again just to make sure they're set, and then just tested it again. Nothing changed. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. So with that in mind, see, the movement shouldn't be moving yet because I haven't wound it and it hasn't had enough motion. But before I set the hands on, you're going to make sure you hack the movement also. You're going to have to anyways, because you want to turn the crown so that as if you're saying the time, and then wait for the date disc to change and flip over. And as soon as it does, that's your midnight point, right? And then to stop there and then start setting the hands in. So let's see here. I'm gonna just try to make sure it looks pretty clean. I assume. Anyways, let's what's the next part? I guess I'm gonna put in the dial. So I'll try to zoom in for you guys. 6R back there. I'm not going to need these anymore. These are mostly for removing. The hand setting tools are off to the side here, those guys. But we'll get to that in a second. Just want to carefully this, and you know what, before I do that, I mean, should this be on here? I think that's right, like that. Right, too tight, and over tighten it. Okay, I'll try that. I mean, it was just as fine on there, but I guess I'm supposed to use this movement holder for something. And it doesn't seem to hold as tight as I think it should, but whatever. So we'll get into placing the dial on here. Okay, so look for the feet and those openings that you saw on that plastic black piece that I said was being blocked by the date disc, so I can remove it. That's where those feet go into. So okay, I'm going to have to lift this up a bit. Please don't drop the movement. I got one side. Nope. Can't bloody see what I'm doing. Right there. There you go. So Seiko is good for trying to pick up stray dust particles that might be lodged in somewhere, just trying to keep the thing clean. And if it hits the dial too, hopefully it won't. All right, so far so good. It's lined up with the, so this works, right? And, yeah, I don't even know if I'm using this correctly, damn it. So if I pull the crown out, I want to see where midnight is. Can you see that? Sorry, I'm off center here. You kind of saw it, but and you want to make sure you know where midnight is before you mess around with the date, of course. You don't even have any handset for reference, so you don't want to start being in the date changing position and flipping it too many times when you're in the red zone. And that's what I should have somehow checked earlier, but I forgot to. You know how long it's been since I did a proper Seiko mod? Okay, here it goes. Starting to change over. Slow. There. That should be midnight. Now the handset. Very nerve-wracking part. First the hour hand. This is what Rodeco is great for. It's just to stick it. Well, sometimes it's just so hard to get the hands on with the tweezers. And just don't want to risk scratching it. What I should be doing is making this a smaller point. And coming from maybe like this angle here, dropping it in like so. And I don't even know what is the proper hand setting tool, should maybe reference, use this guy. So while that move hand is on there, it's kind of hard to tell which one. You want to make sure that you have the clearance. Which one? Okay, it looks like this black one is the largest, and then maybe these two, they're almost identical in size. But I think the black one is a little bit larger, so let's see if that clears the column. Well, let's see where. I'm trying to see. That looks about similar, because this is part was the other issue I had with the watch. The alignment of the hands were not ideal. Okay, I can get this out of the way. Set it in there for now. Oh, dang it. Okay. See that? Back up. It's too wide. I think it's a little bit off. But then I'm going to have to circle around just to make sure that the, just get an idea where the, well, do I want to go back around? I think I went around too much. And that's why I forgot to take the reference photos to know how deep to push the dang hands to make sure that they're low enough. That's the other tricky part. Down low to really catch the angle, make sure it's not tilting in or up too much. All right, and then also make sure that, like this way, just basically looking at all the angles to make sure it's not tilting one way or the other too much. Right, you want to make sure it's good. That's right, I guess. Can't tell. I gotta get down lower. It's angled towards the dial at the pointer end, so I gotta try and raise it up higher. It's gonna be tricky because you just gotta teeter. Because if you gotta make sure you get the right size too, because then if it's too wide, then you're gonna push past the column a bit, and what will happen is it'll start pushing down on. I wonder if this brass tip is for the seconds hand. Supposedly the brass does not scratch. It's a soft metal, but I don't know about that. I wonder if one is to get it down and then this one's to... This one doesn't even clear it, so it's black. Well, there's no chance that the hands are gonna like touch the dial. I don't think. It's not doing it now. It shouldn't. Like as it's sweeping around. We'll check that in a moment. Well, I think I got this down about as low as I can. Just tell, but I guess it's about as even as I can make it. In terms of flat, perpendicular, or parallel to the dial. I think that's what you want to try to do. All right. So we're going to just go around one more time. Just checking any clearance issues. Oh man, don't pop off. Don't pop off. It's popping off. It's popping off. No, this moving holder doesn't seem to hold it too securely. Okay, this should be noon. And so coming up around, so let's take a look and see. Sorry, I gotta lift it up higher. I don't want to get down to the ground. It should be okay. goes. Oh, sorry, off camera again a little bit. And midnight switch. Oh, see, it's always a little bit off, but as long as there we go. Not by much. Right about there. Okay, now comes the minute hand. Another tricky bit. Let's see. Wonder if, let's just double check. I think this one will clear, but not go past the bottom. So I think I should be using this black tip on this one. So this outside. Try to stick it first. Sorry. Not entirely sure I'm going to approach this. I'm going to come at it this time like this, I guess. Just try to carefully drop it on there. I should be using this. Okay. I didn't want to push too hard on it. Be careful when I'm going to adjust this. I just hope I don't pop it off of the stem here. Oopsie, very sensitive. So that's not completely at supposed to be. Slightly, and hopefully it also aligns with the hour hand, you know, in terms of the width of the hour hand kind of peeping out on either side of it. It should be centered. And it's kind of tricky to tell because these hands are faceted, so they catch the light at different angles, so you're not completely seeing all the full surface and sides of the handset, so it can be a little bit tricky to determine, you know, one part's in the darkness, you know, it's not reflecting bright, to see what's going on. Sorry, my hand's covering it, but I don't know if I can get much closer. Okay, let's see. All right, hopefully you can see that. I need to get in here. So sorry if I'm blocking the camera. I need to carefully press it on and make sure it doesn't move out of alignment, and then also it doesn't go too much into one direction, like that's not parallel to the dial or the other handset below it. So last thing you want them is to crisscross it. Okay. Yeah. It is touching the dial, so we want to make sure I lift it up, but not too high up. This is just it's pointing upwards. It's probably hit the second hand that's going to go on top of it, like that. low. Make sure I'm not committing it to be at the wrong angle, at least in terms of it being parallel to the dial as well as the other handset right below it. Make sure I didn't shift off left or right on this either. As I was doing that, I was trying to slowly sit it down. Hopefully the hour hand below it was low enough already to the dial. Jeez. Really should have taken some pictures. It's referenced before I committed to taking off the hand so I know to try to match up the spacing between the handset. That's really critical. Weird. Sometimes it looks like it's parallel on one side, but when I turn it over, to the other, it seems like maybe it's different angle. It shouldn't be. I'll lift it up so I can see it against like something with more contrast in the background. Okay. So add any scratches to this thing. What do you think? Hopefully there's enough clearance from the second hand on top. That's a tricky one, I'm not even sure. Well, the second hand really is like a post that just sits on top of it. Actually, it's the reverse. Oh, I guess it just sits right on top. So hopefully there's not an issue with clearance with his hands or with a crystal. It's such a small piece to stick up. So let's see, we'll test the looks pretty lined up to me, the hour hand at the top of the hour. Let's go around and check. Say it's better than it was. This should be fairly perpendicular too, which looks pretty good. And then, of course, over at the 6, want to make sure it's straight down. Looks about right. Too bad. And check the 9. This one does seem a little bit like it's not quite aligned with it. Back it up. Here it looks like it is, but when I was going this way, it looked like it was falling behind. Let's see if at the midnight, it's 12 noon, it's lined up. Not too bad, I guess. Go around again. Oops. 3. 6. This movement order. I don't know, maybe I'm not using it right. Okay. What the fuck? Man. Anyways, let's see. To me, it seems like it's just a little bit behind. I mean, spin it around again. What's the matter with this thing? Forget this thing. Hmm. This is the only position that bugs me. Everything else seems to visually mostly line up. And I guess that would be good enough. It's not that the index is marked up higher on the side for some reason. Is it? It shouldn't be. The best way to fix it is just behind, so I need to potentially push it over a little bit more. Let's see if that helps. Main thing is the 9. Seems slightly off. I still need to nudge it over just a little bit. I think that did it. No, it's still off. Just a little bit more. 5 minutes back. See if that helps. Nope. This to the other way. Try to move this forward. Nope. I moved the hour hand too far forward. Nope. Make it come off the stem. The time switched about 5 minutes past now. That doesn't bother me too much as long as its hands are lined up. So like right here, it looks like it's too far forward now. Sorry, it makes you watch 40 minutes of me just fiddling with this thing to get it just right. Okay, I think that's about right in terms of alignment. Now, let me just make sure that this handset is as low as it can go. I accidentally raise it up by. Okay. I'll lift it up a little bit just because I feel like it's aiming down towards the dial a bit now. Hopefully that didn't mess with the alignment. Close enough. I kind of went back. That's weird. One other time it went ahead a little bit early. Okay. Let's just put on the hand stack, the second hand. Probably the trickiest thing to do. Did I get lucky? Hopefully there won't be clearance issues underneath the crystal. Tricky part. Try to get this off without messing up the hands, because the second hand's moving now. Trying to remove the crown. Okay, what I usually do in the past, because I have to hold the movement, push it, how am I going to release it? I usually use my mouth. So I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, did it. Now, get the movement back in here. I'll just pop this thing back inside the bag first. I just want to get this out of the way. Shouldn't be anything underneath the crystal. That's properly seated. Okay, I just gotta carefully aim this in. so. Hopefully there's no dust underneath the crystal. Oh no. What is that? How did that get under there? Maybe I shouldn't do it that way. Just backspin it to make sure. Good one. Just make sure that there's nothing stopping the second hands. Give it a good wind. Should be aligned. It was when I last left it. Yeah, there we go. I don't see any issues with the second hand hitting like the crystal. Sometimes it's just high enough where it starts to get some interference. I've had that happen before. Just didn't push the hands down enough, or it was angled. I don't want it too tight because I need to check the regulation. So let me pause this so I can get to that. But so far, looks good now. It looks, to me, visually, it looks like it's running slow, but we'll see. I have to give it a good wind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. So let's check it out. Hang on.